東京コミコンプレミアムトーク
イライジャウッド&市川海老蔵。
どんな話が聞けるのかな。
楽しみですね、
はい、
それでは
スタート。
それではお待たせしました。ここからは東京コミコン2020が送るプレミアムトーク。東京コミコン2020のゲスト、イライジャウッドさんと東京コミコン2020のアンバサダー、市川海老蔵さんとの対談です。それでは早速お呼びしましょう。市川海老蔵さんです。
よろしくお願いします。
イライジャウッドさん、よろしくお願いします。
Hello, hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
よろしくお願いします。はじめまして、市川海老蔵です。ロード・オブ・ザ・リングも拝見してましたし、さまざま今のお仕事も聞いてると素晴らしいなと、お目にかかれて光栄です。よろしくお願いします。
最初にまず、海老蔵さんの方からまずイライジャさんに何かお聞きしたいこととかございますでしょうか。
やっぱり今、このコロナ禍の中で、やっぱり歌舞伎も日本のエンターテインメント界も大変なんですけども、ハリウッドの方でもやっぱり撮影とか、例えば今、プロデューサー業でいろいろなさってると聞いてるんですけど、どういうふうに乗り越えて、またモチベーションはどのようになさってるのか知りたいです。
Thank you. Yeah, it is a funny time that we're all living in. I guess we're in month 9 or 10 months of being in some form of isolation and lockdown. I think for me, in terms of keeping motivation, I'm fortunate enough to have a production company. So we've only just completed production on a film that was a physical production, which was COVID compliant and kind of amazing that we were able to do that. We've been focusing our efforts on developing and working on things that will ultimately get made in the future, and also working on things like developing animation, which is very COVID compliant. It doesn't require people to be in person. And then also, on the personal side, I have my family. I have a 14-month-old son. So that really takes up a lot of my time and allows me to keep focused. I think the hardest thing about the time that we're living in is for folks to be in isolation and apart from each other. I think that's the most difficult aspect of this. And having family close by and having something to focus on definitely helps for sure.
海老蔵さんもこの間ね、歌舞伎をね、自ら奮起されて立ち上げられましたけど、あと一方で家族の時間も大事っていうふうにコメントされてましたよね。なんか相通じるものがあるんじゃないですか。
そうですね。やっぱりこんな中ですけど、やはりコロナ禍の中でもできる舞台の形、やっぱり考えると同時に、やはり家族が支えたなっていうのはちょっと共通なんだなとちょっと嬉しく思いました。
Absolutely. It really makes a huge difference. Not only the sort of dynamic of looking after a growing child, but also just the love and support that you get with that family dynamic is really helpful.
で今共通項があったりとかお子さんの話とか出たんですけど、実はですねお二人にさらに共通項がございまして、なんと海老蔵さんは6歳の頃から舞台に立たれてまして、イライジャさんも7歳からデビューさせてるということで、してるということで、ずっとねこの世界仕事を続けらっしゃると思うんですけども、それぞれ子供の頃からこの仕事を続けてきて、それぞれ思うところをお聞かせ願いたいんですけど。
Well, yeah, it is a long time to be working and to have the sense of a career. It's so strange because it's not something that you're conscious of as it's happening. Certainly not when I was young. When I was 7, 8, 9, and 10, I couldn't really have imagined myself in my late 30s still working as an actor. And you work through these phases of your life as you also grow into the human that you become, right? Into the adult that I am now. So there are sort of different phases that I sort of think about when I think about my life in this career. But I just feel so extraordinarily fortunate to be still able to do this, for me to have an outlet creatively as an actor, but also as a producer, to be involved in this thing that I love so much over this length of time is a gift. And I only hope that I get to continue to do that. But it's just a wonderful creative outlet, and I feel like I appreciate it more now even than I did when I was younger.
海老蔵さんはいかがでしょうか。はい。
そうですね。私の場合は ちょっと異なる点は、やはり私はその生まれた時からこの日本の伝統文化というものに継ぐと、相続していくということが決まった中でスタートしておりますので、今現在やれてることは確かにイライジャさんと同じように奇跡であったりギフトであったりすると思うんですけれど、最初はやはりこう自分の意思ではなく、もう運命の中の列車の線路の上に乗せられる感じで、大変な自分の意思とは別だったんで何とも言えないんですけども、やはりその修行をすることによって日本の文化を次のジェネレーションに伝えていく。そして今も私も現代に生きる歌舞伎の役者として、多くの方々に認知していただいて、舞台を見ていただく作業は本当にこう感謝することかなと思ってますが、とにかく続けていくことは、まずはその家族もそうですけど、自分の健康にやはり最近は年齢も重ねてるんで、結構いい気がします。
That's so beautiful. How wonderful the journey too to go to initially feel like your path is laid out in front of you without much choice, and then to have in your adult life embrace that with a whole new meaning, with that desire to then impart that to a young generation is really incredible. And in a way, I mean, I can't relate entirely, because you are also a keeper of the flame, right? You're passing down a tradition, a very long-standing tradition, and that needs to be kept alive. And so you are a steward of that art, which is so beautiful. What an incredible journey you've been on just personally with that. That sounds amazing.
イライジャさんもですね、役者だけではなくて音楽レーベルも持ってたりとか、ゲームも作ったりとか、プロデューサーとかしてるんですね。で、そういった役者であり、プロデューサーであるイライジャさんに何か聞いてみたいこととかございますでしょうか。
そうですね。やはりその役者でやっぱり素晴らしい結果を残して、そしてまたプロデューサーとして、特にちょっと気になるのはこうアメリカのゲーム業界。今後やっぱりそのどういうふうなプロデュースをしているのかということと、どういった次のこの世界がゲーム界で起こるのかっていう、ちょっとイライジャさんの考えを聞きたいなと思っています。
Well, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to dabble a little in that industry. I mean, look, the video game industry is as successful, if not more so, than movies. Certainly now, even more that people are in their homes playing video game consoles because they can't interact with one another. So it's sort of a prime time. It's funny, actually, very early in the lockdown here in California, I have a Nintendo Switch, and my girlfriend got a Nintendo Switch, and we just played Animal Crossing a lot, which is a kind of perfectly timed thing. But look, I've been lucky enough to my production company and we developed a game with Ubisoft that was sort of a thriller. I wouldn't say it was a horror game, but definitely a sort of thriller that was primarily designed for VR. And to have that opportunity as a fan of games, I mean, I grew up playing games from, ColecoVision to early Nintendo on up. To be a part of that creative process was really incredible and felt like an honor. And it's an exciting time where games are telling stories very much in the way that we're used to seeing in films, and those worlds are really kind of blurring, where the interactivity of games is fusing itself into the storytelling of films. Something like The Last of Us, for instance, it has an impact on an emotional level that is not unlike watching a movie, yet you're playing it. So it's those opportunities that I find really exciting in video games. And obviously, so much of that innovation is coming from Japan. I'm a big Hideo Kojima fan myself. So.
ありがとう、Thank you。
で、今ちょっとゲームの話で盛り上がったんですけども、このイライジさん、今度映画のプロデューサーとして、例えば市川海老蔵さんでなんか映画を作ってみたいとしたら、どんな作品がいいですかね。
Oh my God. That's a great question. Mr. Ichikawa's prowess seems to be what little I know of kabuki is it's quite physical and emotive. So I would imagine, God, I don't know what kind of role. That's a difficult one. Something, a role that sort of can express through physicality, I guess. I don't know if that, it could be interesting to play a villain, I suppose. Could be quite fun, but I don't know. I think kabuki, from again, I'm my knowledge of kabuki is so limited, so I can't really speak greatly about where I feel like it would fit in the context of modern film. But it seems to me that it would be a highly physical role, maybe even. I think about, for some reason, I think of characters like that Doug Jones plays in Guillermo del Toro's films, that kind of thing, if that makes sense.
ありがとうございます。
で、イライザさん、実はですね、海老蔵さんは、スター・ウォーズ歌舞伎っていうのを実は世界で初めてやってまして、で、私は、海老蔵さんに、ロード・オブ・ザ・リング歌舞伎をやっていただきたいんですけども、イライザさん、これはどう思いますか？
Well, first, it would be an incredible honor. I saw bits of your Star Wars Kabuki performance, and it's incredible. The interpretation of, I think it was The Last Jedi. It was primarily Kylo Ren's story that you portrayed, which is really kind of brilliant. And taking an interpretation and taking a slice of that story and depicting it on stage is really amazing. So no, it would be amazing to see a Lord of the Rings adaptation done and interpreted by you. Maybe, I wonder what character would be the best to lead. Probably Gandalf, actually. If you played Gandalf, that would be kind of amazing. But just seeing an interpretation of something like Star Wars put into that context, there's also so much continuity there. I mean, obviously, Star Wars was heavily influenced by Kurosawa. So there is that kind of, there's already a Japanese inspiration behind a lot of the imagery from Hidden Fortress on. In fact, I think it was R2-D2 and C-3PO that were based on the two characters from Hidden Fortress. Anyway, so there already was so much visual kind of connection there historically, which is sort of amazing. But no, Lord of the Rings, I would love to see that. I would love to see what your interpretation would be.
頑張りたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。
本当にトークが盛り上がってるんですけど、そろそろちょっとお時間になりまして、最後にですね、一言いただきたいんですけども、まず市川海老蔵さんの方からイライザさんに何か一言いただけますでしょうか。
まずは本当にお目にかかれて光栄でした。そして、Zoom ですけども、お目にかかれて、さらにファンになりまして、家に帰ったら、私も子供たちともう一度、ロード・オブ・ザ・リング、最初から最後まで、そしてホビットのやつも最初から最後まで、そして、バック・トゥ・ザ・フューチャー2の、緑の帽子かぶってる時のやつももう一回ちょっと見て、さらにちょっと、研究したいなと思います。本当に光栄です。ありがとうございます。
Thank you so much.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's so wonderful. Well, thank you. It has been an honor to meet you. I now have to be educated in the art of kabuki. So next time, when the world calms down and this virus has been contained, I will visit Japan, and I would love to see you perform. That would be so incredible. But certainly, some education in regards to kabuki theater would be such a wonderful thing that I would love to experience. And I'd love to meet you in person. So hopefully, maybe sometime next year.
次は本当にね、お二人で直接ね、会っていただきたいと思います。というわけでですね、プレミアムトークでした市川海老蔵さんとイライジャウッドさん、本当に今日はどうもありがとうございました。
ありがとう。
どうもありがとうございました。